Hello grade 10s. I want to focus on different line types today, and I'm going to start with this specific one over here. It says construction lines, because that's the first type of line you are going to start with when you do any drawing, is to take your pencil at the back and just slide it over your set square or T-square, whether it's horizontal or vertical, and you will be able to see lines just moving in those two directions. It's very faint. Once you see the shape that is required, you're going to draw the visible outline, and that will give you a darker line. So it's good to have a pencil for dark lines and a pencil for faint lines. Okay, the clutch could be for faint and this one could be for dark lines. Alright. Then you have hidden detail lines. Hidden detail lines refer to short dash lines, that's intermittent gaps, and long 3mm length line, which you don't have to measure, you just have to draw it consistently like that, and that represents corners, edges, or any part that cannot be seen but is visible. Anything that's visible which cannot be seen must be indicated with a dash, or what I say, hidden detail line. Alright. Then we have a dimension line. A dimension line shows the measurement from one specific point to the other. It is a light line. The color of the line is light, but it has arrows on both ends to indicate the measurement from here to here. There's normally a dimension written there, right? Then if we move up, we have a center line. A center line is a chain line consisting of a long, short, long, short, long, short consistently. It is synonymous with circles or cylinders. In this particular instance, circles. Because where you have a center, that is the center of the circle, and you draw a circle around that center point there. It is always important when you draw circles to have a center line, long, short, running across there. In the exam, you actually get marks for those center lines as well. Then we have alternate, or what I call phantom line. Very similar to the center line here. The only difference is that it has a double dash there. So you will have a long double dash, and that indicates a position of some existing shape. And there you've got a triangle, and you want to mirror image it, and you want to see the position. And to show that position, you will have a phantom line there, like that. Okay? Then we have a cutting line, or a cutting plane. A cutting plane is similar like a center line. The only difference is that the ends are darker, so you've got to draw darker ends, preferably the long line, it ends with a long line, so those two ends are going to be darker in color, and then you will have two arrows. Now the arrows heads will touch the darker line. The arrows could possibly be facing up as well, depends on which part you are going to cut. The cutting line is normally shown where you are going to remove something. So if this is a piece of metal or piece of wood, and I need to cut through there to remove that top part, the arrows will be on the side which will be removed. Alright, so you can use an hacksaw or a grinder to cut through that section there. The section also comes in a staggered format where you cut like that, you know, staggering that cut as you can see here in the example. And I'm moving up. The last two types of lines which we will focus on will be firstly the break line. It's like a wavy line. The wavy line is normally in between a lengthy object which you have drawn. Why? Because the length of the object is much longer in reality than the actual page. But you can't draw the actual size on there. So you're going to break that up into two parts, where you have the start of the whatever item you draw and the finishing or the end. And in between you will have a break. But you will say that from there to there is a meter, which is much longer than the actual page. That is what the break line is for. And then cross hatching refers to when you cut the teeth of whatever equipment you're using. Let's, for example, say a hacksaw. The teeth leaves marks, and the marks must be shown with section lines or cross hatching, evenly spaced apart, at an angle, preferably a 45-degree angle. Could be large sections or small sections. And there they are shown when two components are cut, but they are separate. They are not one single component, they are two different or separate components. The hatching must, or the cross section must take different angles. One going that way, the other going that way. And it can also be spaced differently apart. Okay, I hope that makes sense in terms of you developing your understanding for lines. I hope you enjoy it.